murder don't need no hook.
Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the Hangout, the live stream we do every Thursday about 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Turn this hat around so my face isn't all dark. Hope you guys are doing well. If you're watching this on the replay, like I said, we do this every Thursday at 7, so I hope you can catch us live next time. But thank you for being here. And if you are watching live, go ahead and say what's up in the chat so I know you're here. And let's see, what should I ask today? Let's start off with nothing controversial. Who's your favorite superhero? All right, let's see. So Skip's here. What's up, Skip? Tim says, hey, what up, everyone? Ryder Battle says, greetings, travelers. Greetings, fellow traveler. Fellow citizens of Earth. Hello, fellow young people. So yeah, tonight we've got a fun conversation. We're going to talk about just, someone asked me the other day in our one of the channel members asked in one of our Q&A sessions, hey, like, what are some books that you don't have in your collection that you would love to have? And that just got me thinking, okay, what are people's like grails? Of course, we all have like, some of the most valuable comics in the world on our list, but like, I just want to know what books mean a lot to you. So we're going to talk about that later on tonight. We're going to look at some news, some interesting comic announcements that have been made in the last week or so. Of course, I'm going to review a couple of books that I read this week, and all that and more after we thank all the people that make the Hangout possible. So a huge shout out to our channel family. These are the people who basically on a monthly basis tip a little bit, give a little token of appreciation to the channel, help us keep the lights on around here. So thank you to everyone, whether you're on the family level or the squad level. It's all love over here. We appreciate you making content on Comics Are Dope possible. If you see them in the chat, they've got a bunch of like, badges. So the longest tenured members have the Nightwing badge. You might see some Robins poking around. You might even see a Joker, which is cool. But yeah, so we got all those in the chat. And another huge shout out to our channel sponsor, Organic Price Books. They are the best place to go for collected editions, like maybe not this one right here, but I got a bunch. I'm still singing the praises of Bitter Root, right? And the Bitter Root Omnibus came out in February, early February. And it's still just as beautiful of a book as it had been. And that's still available over at Organic Price Books. You can use the coupon code BJKicks at checkout to save $2. Or if you're spending or you're buying 3 or more books, you can use the code BJKicks, ship it together to get a 5% discount on your whole purchase. And that, of course, supports the channel. So thanks to OPB for being the channel sponsors, longest running channel sponsors, 2 years and counting. Oh man, there's a lot of people in here. Wheelchairs here. What's up, dude? Long time no see, long time no talk. Haven't seen you in a minute, Wheelchair, but I'm glad to see you, sir. I love how you've upgraded your bat armor. That's dope. Charles is here checking in. What's up, sir? Joaquin is here. What's up, Joaquin? What up, Kicks? What up, Dope Fiends? I guess Dope Fiends is an official thing. So for those of you guys who don't know, we have 2 private communities that you can join as part of the Comics Are Dope family, right? So we've got the K Squad. It's still called the K Squad on Facebook. And over on Discord, the Discord members voted to be called the Dope Fiends. So they're the Dope Fiends on Discord. Let's see. Heads up. Bitter Root is sold out at OPB. Oh, snap. You know what? I knew that. I was told that. My bad. But there is a bunch of other stuff available over at OPB. But yeah, so you can be a member of the K Squad or the Comics Are Dope community, whether it's on Facebook or Discord. Links are probably not in the description, but they're on a different video. Kevin says, what's up, everybody? What's up? Tim's favorite superhero is Batman. Mine as well. Let's see. Ryder Battle bounces between the Question and Power Man. Good old Luke Cage. Skip's favorite superhero is Captain America. I did not. I don't know why I would have assumed that your favorite was Black Panther. Drew's here. What's up, Drew? Love your profile picture. Let's see. Bunkmaster B is watching Teen Titans Go with his daughter while watching this. Hello, hello. Wheelchairs in Discord as Red Batman. Dope, dope. You're going to get the Green Arrow. I'm absolutely getting Green Arrow #1 next week when it comes out. It's funny. Every time I would like complain that there's too much Batman in the DC universe, I would always be like, well, I mean, why don't we just have like a Green Arrow series? And I had never read Green Arrow. I've always just seen Green Arrow on the Justice League show and just thought it was cool. But yeah, so this will be my first Green Arrow #1. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to dig into Oliver Queen a bit. Let's see. Just Another Collector says, I accomplished my Grail set 2 years ago. All 4 Rebirth of the Cools slabbed. Definitely going to tune in. Okay, we're going to talk about Rebirth of the Cool. Actually, we can go ahead and talk about Rebirth of the Cool right now. That's a great segue into recent pickups. And so each week, instead of doing like a bunch of unboxing videos, I like to show you guys just on the live stream, those of you who tune in live, whatever I picked up in the last week. And of course, the star of this week's show, I actually showed this off on Instagram already, but this is Static Shock Rebirth of the Cool. This is a trade paperback from DC Comics and Milestone Media. This was released. When was this trade actually released? Let's find out. If I had to guess, I'm going to say like 2009-ish. I was right. Copyright 2009 for this one. So this is the second of 2 trade paperbacks that came out collecting any Static comics at all. And so what this collects are the first 4 issues of the original Static series from 1993. That storyline is known as Trial by Fire, which basically gives you Static's origin and a couple of cool adventures of him as a superhero. Then it flashes forward quite a bit to a series called Static Shock Rebirth of the Cool, which was a mini series that came out in the early 2000s to coincide with or capitalize on the success of the Static Shock animated series. I mean, you can see even this costume is a little bit more inspired by the animated series appearance than anything else. But this 4-issue miniseries was basically the last time anybody wrote about Static from the original Milestone crew up until Milestone Forever, which was basically like the epilogue to the whole Milestone universe. Anyway, this trade paperback was really, really hard to find for a long time and kind of still is. I got very lucky in that I keep a saved search going on eBay. And on eBay, there was a listing for 3 trade paperbacks: Hardware, The Man in the Machine, Icon, A Hero's Welcome, and this, Static Shock Rebirth of the Cool. And lucky enough, no one else bid on it, so I won this for the opening bid of $74.99. So technically, I got this book for $25, which is a win any day of the week. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on whether or not I'm able to sell these for what, $50. I'm actually going to throw in the second volume of Icon trade paperback, which is Mothership Connection, to whoever buys this. And I haven't put up the sales listing, but if you're watching this live, you know. So yeah, that's that. I'm very excited. With this, my collection of Static and pretty much all of Milestone is complete. I had the 4-issue miniseries in single issues. I did not have this trade paperback, but I had every other trade paperback, and I really wanted this trade paperback to go with them. So I don't know, the things collectors do, right? You can read the book digitally. You've got it on the, in trade paperback. You got it in single issues. Why do you need it all? But kind of want it all. Tim says it's better than 120. Yeah, for that one trade, absolutely. And that is exactly how high the prices had been on this book. So if you are a Milestone fan out there, I'll give you the pro tip. Although I don't necessarily consider myself a pro, but there's a ton of people that search for static comics. There are not a ton of people that search for Milestone comics. And that's kind of how you can weed out the speculators from the fans. And you can still get some good deals just by searching for Milestone comics on eBay. Um, so yeah, that's what's been working for me over the last 2 years that I've been building up this collection. And hopefully it helps you as well now that the secret's out. Steven says, well, I'm so glad I made it. Who are you casting a static live action? I don't know, man. I don't watch enough TV to like have fan casting choices. That kid from Stranger Things seemed like a good bet, but the older that kid gets, the less of a good bet it feels like. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. But if you'd asked me this a year ago, my choice would have been, I think it's Caleb McLaughlin. McLaughlin. Sorry, my sister's texting me. She wants me to take her graduation photos. Got to keep the family close. All right. But yeah, so I'm thinking Caleb McLaughlin, or is it? Yeah, whatever, from Stranger Things. Daryl's talking about what his grail has been. We're gonna get to that in just a second. So we talked about recent pickups. That's the only recent pickup. If you've been following, or if you're in the channel membership, you might know I've had some switch ups going on, like just personally. So because of these switch ups, I'm going to be buying fewer comics, but comics are dope as a channel. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, so you don't expect to see a ton of recent pickups all the time. Speaking of recent pickups, though, it's time to get to the review of the week. Each week, I try to review a couple of comic books that I've read from this week of releases. So there are two books that I've read so far this week, and the first of which was Icon versus Hardware. Don't worry, I keep these reviews spoiler free. So Icon versus Hardware issue 2. Icon versus Hardware is being billed as Act 1 of an event called Worlds Collide. I don't know what other pieces are going to be in this Worlds Collide. I don't know what all it's going to entail, but we got a hint with this issue, pointing to things that aren't here in real life but exist on the screen. So we got a hint with this issue. What happened in this book? So if you read issue 1 of Icon v Hardware, then you'll know that Curtis Metcalf was trying to, find Icon's alien technology, hoping that it could like help him hide from the cops. Turns out he didn't find anything that would conceal his identity, but he did find a time machine. And I don't know what you would expect anyone to do when they find a time machine. But it felt like Hardware wasn't trying to like better society necessarily. It was all like very personal things that Hardware was trying to do and or undo with this time machine. And so that happened in issue 1. We saw him go back and try to undo the Big Bang, which is something that he got framed for in earlier seasons of Milestone since the reboot. And let's just say he wasn't successful. So in issue 2, we're seeing just how and why he wasn't successful. We get a lot more action out of Icon in this issue. I won't spoil how. And then we end the issue with a cameo appearance of someone that was a complete surprise and makes the Worlds Collide title make a lot of sense. And that's really all I can say without spoiling the book. All in all, how do I feel about it? There were some instances where the dialogue got clunky. Like there was a courtroom scene that just kind of read like I don't know. Like you ever seen that movie, Our Friend Martin? It was a cartoon that came out in like the early 2000s around Martin Luther King's birthday about this kid that, funny enough, time traveled. He time traveled to be a part of the civil rights movement. He like made friends with a young Martin Luther King Jr. And you're watching this movie and it's meant to be entertaining, but it's also meant to educate you about the civil rights movement of the 60s. And there are points, if you're going back and watching that film as an adult, It's like, all right, here's the part where we just kind of name a bunch of statistics and dates and events and stuff, right? The courtroom scene kind of felt like that a little bit to me. But overall, it was enjoyable. The book was enjoyable. Um, the art from Dennis Cowan was good. There is something about the art that is not quite clicking on all cylinders in the way that Hardware season 1 was. And maybe it's just because it was more Icon than Hardware. Maybe it's because Bill Sienkiewicz isn't on inks, although John Floyd isn't like a huge step down. But there is something noticeable about the difference in art to me. Um, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's still pretty good. It's just not exactly the same. It's not that same level to me. But all in all, story was enjoyable. The art was enjoyable. And we got a very, very brief appearance from Rocket to get a little bit of an update as to what she's got going on. Wish we got a little bit more of that. I wish the stories made more sense together, but I think that's a part of like what time travel just does in a comic book. But anyway, I'm ready for issue 3. I stopped grading comic books because I kind of suck at it. But if I had to just give a gut rating, it's probably 7 out of 10 for me. Uh, Steven wants to know, how'd you feel about NDI Static in the 30th anniversary? NDI. Oh, Nick Draper Ivy Static. Got you. And I was like, who is NDI? Yes, Static Beyond in the 30th anniversary special. Yeah, now that I reviewed that last week, I think. That was really good, really enjoyable. I thought it did a lot to characterize Virgil and Static and bring things that we've heard about Static, in cartoons and stuff into the comics and make it canon in a very interesting way. Yeah, I enjoyed the 30th anniversary special. Watch this be a show that Callan pops up and hears Kicks not absolutely praising his art. Yeah. It tends to be that way. Brave and the boys, just subscribe to your channel today after getting a list of all the people in the Discord with channels. Your videos are awesome. Dude, thank you. Which Discord are you referring to? I'm in a couple. I'm in the Near Mint Condition Discord. I'm in the Friendly Neighborhood Comics Discord. And then I'm in my Discord, but I'm assuming you don't mean my Discord. Either way, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Tim gives it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Oh, awesome. Omar's a great dude. That's my homie. I don't know if Omar's coming to Heroes Con, but I'll be at Heroes Con. I just got my press passes approved. I will be at Heroes Con June, was it 18th, 19th, and 20th? Something like that this year. June 16th, 17th, 18th. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, the other book I read this week from Chuck Brown and Trevor Fraley is Disney Villains Scar #1. This brought to us by Dynamite Comics, Dynamite Entertainment. I got the cover D, so that's the cover I'm showing you. This isn't the A cover, but it was my favorite cover, although there were quite a few to choose from. So Disney Villains Scar, this is kind of like it's not necessarily a prequel. It's meant to sort of run alongside maybe the first half of the Lion King film. And so we are getting more insight into how Scar felt and how Scar became so villainous, right? Like, because Scar goes from being prince of the Pride Lands to still being a prince, but not the next in line to be king. And so the book opens up with a couple of lines from The Lion King. In fact, they are the opening lines from The Lion King. Life's not fair, right? So that's really cool. Overall, this book was just an awesome blast from the past. The art by Trevor Fraley, to me, like the colors are done in like a watercolory style. It's not like as one for one as, say, Disney's Darkwing Duck comics have been. Like reading the Darkwing Duck comics feels like watching the animated series, but like just in still shots. This is a different experience because of that watercolor style art, but it's like you could be looking at like animation pages or whatever. The style itself, very reminiscent of the cartoon. Um, oh, I didn't buy it physically. I have a digital copy. I was like, I'm trying to thumb through it and show you the art, but I haven't picked up my books from the comic shop this week yet. But maybe I can find an image real quick. I'm gonna show you what I mean. CBR's got a review up. Let's see if they've got some images. Okay, here's a great image. Let me save that. What the heck is an AVIF file? I've never heard of that format in my life. Let's see if it'll even upload as an image. Yeah, that's not gonna work. All right. Give me a second because I want to show you guys this artwork so I can show so you can see what I mean. But while I'm doing that, I'll just tell you more about the story. Like I said, the story is basically meant to happen like alongside portions of part one of The Lion King. And so with that, it it's like parts of it are gonna feel familiar, parts of it are just completely brand new, like just made up. And all in all, like it doesn't feel groundbreaking, but I think the familiarity is enough. Like it just feeling familiar makes it feel good. If that if that makes any sense. It's nostalgic, what it is. All right, let me save this image and see if this one works. The point that I must emphasize is StreamYard only likes PNGs. All right, no worries. I know how to handle this. I'll just screenshot it. Got you, got you. You're right. Let me just do that. I'm tripping. I am tripping. I'm clearly looking at the images online. I can just screen share. Anyway. Oh my gosh. The things that I don't think about. Why don't I think about them? So here's some of the art for Disney villain Scar. So like I'm saying, you can see like it's the coloring style. There's something about the coloring. Like I said, it looks like watercolor, kind of like old school Milestone looks. And that adds a texture that you don't normally see in Disney comics or Disney shows. Those are some covers. Um, but yeah, so we get Scar being angry, like just because that's a Scar thing to do. Um, we don't get much of an appearance from anyone else except Mufasa, which is cool. And all in all, it's a fun issue. Well, is fun the word? It's not fun. It's villainous. Yeah, Scar had an insane amount of covers. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it was just cool to be back in the world of the Lion King. Like I've watched The Lion King so many times as a kid, as well as an adult. Now that I have kids, my kids have seen The Lion King a million times. Rafiki's in here, and I liked Rafiki's appearance in this book. Um, so now I'm just scrolling through all the images on this wiki. Um, but yeah, this David Nakayama cover might be my favorite, but that was like a limited ratio. I wasn't paying more than cover price for this book. That just wasn't going to happen. Um, but all in all, it's a great outing. There's an interview in here. There's an interview with Chuck Brown, just kind of explaining how the series came about and what the sort of goals for the series are. And that interview made me excited for what's to come. This opening issue felt too short. I don't know if it's just because I was reading it digitally, but it felt like this book was like 12 pages long. Like I felt like there was more story that could have been told, but just wasn't. But that was my thoughts on Scar, number one. Um, all in all, it was fun. I'm a Disney fan. I'm a Lion King fan. There's not much they could have done to get me to not want to read this book. And Chuck Brown's a good writer, so I'm sticking with it, even though this opening didn't quite pack the punch I was expecting it to. It does a lot to sort of build the motivation. I guess what my now that I'm like really thinking about it, my issue with it is that the movie does a good enough job of telling you why Scar is evil that you don't really need like any other information. So all of this is sort of icing on the cake, and how well it lands is going to depend on how well it's executed because it's wholly unnecessary, but it's fun to revisit. It's kind of like The Lion King 1.5. There was no need for that sequel. That wasn't even a sequel. It's that. All right. Sometimes I like doing reviews off the cuff, and then like I'm doing them off the cuff, and like then I refine my thoughts. Then I end up reviewing a book 3 times in a row at the same time. But hopefully, that gives you enough information to decide if you want to buy it. They did say they're not doing like reprints and stuff like that. So if your shop didn't order a million variant covers, it might be harder to find as time goes on. Not to give you any FOMO, just giving you the information so you can do with that what you will. Because other than that, we're gonna be waiting like at least a year for a collected edition. But I bought it on Comixology just fine, so that's always an option. And that's it for my reviews of the week. Bunk says, I appreciate the live words, even if more refined words come later. I appreciate that, sir. But yeah. Tim said, I love Lion King 1.5. I do too. And maybe that's what it is, right? Like, I think your mileage is going to vary. Like, if you're a super Lion King fan, like, there's 2 properties with Disney that I will watch anything of. Like, I'm always going to watch Aladdin, and I'm always going to watch The Lion King. Like, I even watched all of The Lion Guard with my daughter. The live stage play, I saw that at Disney World. I haven't seen the actual like traveling Broadway show. But yeah, The Lion King just holds a special place in my heart. If I'm not mistaken, The Lion King was the first film I ever saw in a theater. Came out in like 94. That's like right on track. But yeah. Bunk says we're cut from the same cloth, Kicks. Yo, never mind. There are characters that I can't confirm were from the Lion Guard, but looked super familiar that are in this book. I think you'll like it. If you're that big of a Lion King fan like I am, then you'll like this book. So that does it for the recent reviews. Real quick, let's just talk about a couple of items that are in the news. I like to scour and search through or skim through the news, comic news, to see if there's anything worth talking about. And sometimes there are, such as, gosh, there are a lot of ads on this page. But Terry McGinnis is returning in Batman Beyond Neo Gothic #1 in July 2023. So that's cool. If you enjoyed the Batman Beyond Neo year, is that what it was called? Neo year? This is basically a sequel to that. And they are apparently going all in on these covers. Good Lord. Yeah. Dark, moody, futurist streets, Neo Gotham. All new series by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, art by Max Dunbar. Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of covers. So yeah, so that's one piece of news that I thought was pretty cool. Another piece of news that's not exactly comics related, but is also cool. Oh, I'm tripping. I wasn't showing you the screen that whole time. My bad, guys. I'm gonna get two monitors and I'll be able to like see stuff like this. My Adventures with Superman. Uh, they launched the trailer today. I'm not gonna play it because I don't need my videos getting copyright stricken. But they have released a trailer and they've said that it's gonna come out in 2023. I somehow missed this news of a Superman show coming to Adult Swim, but what I can tell you is that this trailer looks dope. And apparently this lady's glowing with her oil of Olay. But yeah, this trailer looks dope. So seek it out. Go look for it. It's called My Adventures of Superman, and it'll start airing later this year. Just so that you guys can see all those ridiculous covers for uh Batman Beyond Neo Year or Neo Gotham, Neo Gothic. I'll scroll back through them real quick. This one's probably my favorite. Who is this? I can't tell, but I like this cover. Some nice imagery. I'm probably gonna skip this because I haven't been reading any Batman Beyond stuff, and this is seems to be like a sequel to the last Batman Beyond thing that I didn't read. Um, but that comes out in shops on July 25th. So that's cool. Another little bit of news that, if I'm honest, I didn't even read it. I just saw the little image and I was okay, this is a cool piece of cover art. They are revisiting X-Men Days of Future Past for the 60th anniversary of X-Men. So it'll be Mark Guggenheim of Torrent fame, Manuel Garcia, and oh, the page is unresponsive. That's not good. They're doing a prequel to the future events depicted in Days of Future Past. So it's meant to be set in the far-flung future of 2013. Interesting. So yeah, we're gonna revisit this like weird dystopian future. Fun fact, good lord. If you ever want to know why I started to comics are dope, it's because of all these ads. That's why. But yeah, anyway, Days of Future Past Doomsday is a thing that's happening. And that was it for the news in the news segment. Let's see. I assume Kix knows about Kimba, the original Lion King story. I've never watched it. I have heard the controversy about Kimba, though, and that the Lion King was just clearly stolen. And I've seen some of the imagery, but again, I've not watched it. My sister told me to be watching out for a notification that I did not get as of yet. So I'm just looking around. Okay, cool. Bunk says dual monitor setup seems like such an unnecessary luxury until you have it, and then you feel like you never go back to just one. Yeah, I had two monitors at one point. In fact, I have a monitor that I could use as a dual monitor setup, but the issue is my desk just isn't that big. There's not that much real estate over here. So what I would need to do is mount one monitor on the wall, and then it's like I'm looking at like a freaking command center. But that might be the move. We'll see. Mark Guggenheim of Torrent fame. Skip, we did it. That is great. Your thoughts on Into the Spider-Verse trailer controversy? The Protect Trans kid written into Gwen Stacy's bedroom. Honestly, not a problem for me. I'm still going to see it anyway. Didn't know that was a controversy. I kind of wish I didn't click on the comment because now I gotta talk about it. But yeah, I think it's only a controversy because people like to manufacture controversy, right? Like it's a thing that's happening in the world. If it's gonna be in anyone's bathroom, it would be Gwen Stacy or Miles Morales. Like it seems fitting in that setting, based on the age group, based on the fact that they're still kids in school, and that is where this all seems to be the battleground of. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Unless there's like a ridiculous like slow zoom into that statement on the wall. I don't think any kid's gonna really notice it. Probably somebody paused it and you know, wanted to talk about it. I assume though it's not gonna be prominently featured in the film. Um, but I mean, I don't know. The short version is I don't care. Um, I'm gonna watch the movie because I like Spider Verse. I liked the first one. I don't know that I feel a second one is necessary, but it looks good. It looks exciting, and so I'm gonna watch it. Um, I like. I don't know. One of the trepidations I have about Spider Man is this, and I'll show you. Hold on. Thanks to channel sponsor Organic Price Books, I just sent this over for me to show you. Spider Verse. There are like 15 Spider-Men at all times. And it was cute in the first movie, but yeah, it's like I don't need 15 of them. It's hard to keep track of what's different, what's special about them. And I think it's easy to establish that for one character, not so much for like a million. And they are clearly advertising a million Spider-Men in this movie, and I'm a little bit wary of that. So that's what I'm concerned about with the Spider-Verse Part 2. I'm concerned that like the little bit of magic that was Miles's big movie debut might be diluted in that he gets lost in this story. But then again, maybe that's what the story is about. Maybe it's about standing out in a sea of Spider-Men and finding out what makes you special. In which case, makes perfect sense for Miles because he's already like, you know, the second-rate Spider-Man. You know, he's already like living in Peter Parker's shadow in his own universe. So that would be cool. And that would sort of mirror or be a nice other growth point from where he was in the first film. Um, so anyway, I have a lot of concerns about Spider-Verse. None of them have to do with graffiti on a bathroom stall. 100 says there's a part 2 to this Across the Spider-Verse movie. I did see that. I think it's called Beyond the Spider-Verse. That also the just I don't know. I don't know. As much as I love sequels to things that don't need sequels, like The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, has my favorite Lion King song besides Be Prepared, is the zebra going Deception. Like that's my favorite thing. But we didn't need The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Um, but yeah, so as much as I enjoy like not need or unnecessary sequels, this feels like it's completely unnecessary to have 3 Spider-Verse movies. Like, we get it. There are a million other Spider-Men in different universes. I don't need to see them. I trust that they're there. I have faith. Tayshawn's here. He says, peace. Does that mean you're leaving or are you arriving? We've been talking about 5%ers in the Discord, and it can mean both. It can mean either. But yeah. So yeah, that answers your question. Did you already talk grails? No, I did not already talk grails. We have now arrived. We've now arrived at the at the main discussion. No, what we wanted to talk about this whole time, and that is oh dang, my great segue is ruined by slow computer once again. Our most wanted comics, our holy grails, the books that we really, really want in our collection. So, like I said, my man, I think it was Tyler, asked in a Q&A, members only Q&A, hey, are there any comics in your collection that you like don't have that you really want? And at the time, this was it. And then I won the eBay auction, and then I was like, all right, well, I guess it doesn't make sense to address this topic because I hadn't really thought much about what else I would want in my collection. Um, completing my milestone collection was a big deal for me. But I wanted to pose the question to you guys, like, what books are out there? Maybe if money was no object, if situations were different, maybe there's a book you've been tracking for a long time and haven't pulled the trigger on. What are some books that you want that you don't have? For me, what I would love to have that I don't already own is the first appearance of John Stewart. I think it's Green Lantern 87, 86. I don't know. Just type in first appearance of John Stewart and figure it out. Green Lantern 87 from December of 1971. I want that book. And I don't care if it's like a low grade, no grade, detached cover. Like, that's a book that I want. Sony's gonna do the most with the spider characters. Yeah, yeah. And I feel like that does feel like what's going on. Like, Sony is just milking the fact that they own the animated rights for like everything they can get. Coconut water is very hydrating and tasty. You can use the coupon code BJ Kicks at Vitamin. I'm joking. I have no coconut water sponsorship, but call me coconut water. Yeah, so one of my grails would be Green Lantern 87. Daryl says that his grail has been X-23 from buying this year the Nyx series, the Uncanny First Appearance, New Wolverine, and all the other miniseries that she was in, even New X-Men. So Daryl is a big X-23 fan. He wants all of it. All of it. I have been debating, now that I've basically finished my milestone run, I've been debating whether or not I want to try to get every appearance of Static, like in the main DC universe, which would mean completing his New 52 series. Even though I've got it in trade, I don't have every single issue. But then also, I've been thinking about all of his appearance in Teen Titans. I've got his first in canon appearance in Teen Titan or Terror Titans number 4, 6. One of them, he's in it. I think it's number 4. I've got the whole 6-issue miniseries. But now I'm thinking about grabbing the 18 to 20 issues of Teen Titans that he actually does appear in. There are a couple of specific cover appearances that are dope. Like, there's one, and it's like Welcome to Dakota Static on like the building behind him. Like, that's just a cool one to have. It's a cool Static cover. But yeah, I'm very much like, I'm not sure if I want to try to collect all of those. They're not incredibly pricey, but I also know that when I get them, all that's going to happen is they're going to sit in a short box, like those there behind me. Those are my milestone boxes that I pulled out for a special project. Teen Titan 79, Welcome to Dakota. There we go. Appreciate that, Tim. Let's see. Bunk grabbed his biggest grail today with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Year 1 Deluxe hardcover. Last comic I'm tracking is the last Peach Momoko Power Rangers cover, the Blue Ranger Mighty Morphin cover. I know which one you're talking about because I saw that one in my shop when they were first coming out. Now, I gotta ask, Bunk, like, how'd you find the MMPR Year 1? Did you get it for cover price? Are you comfortable disclosing? Like, where'd you get it? Spill the deets. Fourth Wall says, why isn't my membership badge showing up? It's not showing up because you subscribed under a different account. It's the one that was like Quick Fitness or something like that. Bunk says, original comic art, though. Now, there's a whole bunch of grails. Yeah, another grail that I have, like, last year I had the opportunity to buy some milestone original art from the newest Blood Syndicate series. And it fell through because my funds fell through right around the time I was going to Heroes Con. And so I would love to get the chance to get something, whether it's that or I would love one of these Dennis Cowan pages, whether it's from Hardware Season 1 or even the Icon versus Hardware series. But Hardware Season 1's got the Bill Sienkiewicz inks, and I'm sure those fetch crazy prices, but I'd love to own one of those. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that, with original art. My biggest thing is I don't have a ton of like space. Like I feel like my walls are just full enough to where it's like it doesn't look cluttered. Um, Maybe with the exception of these shoes. These shoes look like clutter from this angle, but from the other angle where I film like my sneaker reviews, it looks fine. But yeah, so that's where I'm at on that. Danny found his other account with his badge. That is hilarious. Um Bunk says, I got a few Cowan pages from Mace Windu. Not my favorite art from him, but I needed at least one Cowan in my collection. I feel you. Magneto wants an 8.0 or better of giant size X-Men. Had a chance a few years ago when they were way cheaper. Said I'd wait. Big mistake. Yo, so like I said, this Rebirth of the Cool Trade paperback completes my static collection. And one of my homies, Vince, who works at Dynamite, he sent me a screenshot of what he paid for a full run of static. And let me go find it, because I paid $200 just for issue number 45 with the Mobius cover, which is Tayshawn's Grail right now. And now I gotta go. Whoops! Now I gotta go find this post. You know, I don't feel like an old man pretty much ever until I'm trying to use my technology in front of people. Here we go. My man bought Static issues 1 through 45, the Static Shock New 52 issues 2, 7, and 8, the Static Shock Rebirth of the Cool issues 1 through 4, all for $68 in 2018. That is insane. That is insane. So I get what you mean, dog. Like the prices on stuff get out of control really quick. You never know when it's gonna happen. Like I specifically remember when I started trying to collect Milestone comics, static number ones were going for $10 all day, every day. In the poly bag. The non-poly bag version was a little bit cheaper. Now the poly bag version, well, it got really hot. It got up to like $80. It's cooled down some. So now you can get anywhere from like 25 to 45, maybe $50. But yeah. Static number one shot up right after I bought mine. And so yeah, you just never know, because there was that rumor that came out that Jaden Smith was going to play Static, and nothing ever came of it, but that's just kind of how stuff goes. Let's see. Yeah, Danny, not 50 what? It was 68 is how much he paid. But like I said, he sent me the screenshot. Like, that's amazing to me. Jim Rugg did a Black Avengers original piece. It had Black Panther, Luke Cage, Photon, Falcon, and Black Widow. And it's up in a wall at this record and comic shop in Little Five Points in Atlanta. I asked to buy it, but the owner wasn't there. That's insane. That's really cool. Rupert says, I'm late. What I miss? We're just talking about, like, comics that we would love to own, whether it's a comic, a first appearance, a key, or just something that's important to you, or even original art. So I was saying I would love to get like a piece of Milestone original art. There will be some Milestone original art up for sale soon. Noelle Giddings is selling her watercolors, or will be selling her watercolors, or at least she's been hinting at it for a little while. I don't know. I'll have to ask her like what the status of that is. So that stuff, like any of Noelle Giddings' painted covers would be amazing to me. But yeah, let's see what's happening. I try to like keep up with the comments as they come in, but okay. All my stuff original comic pages. I got a bunch of paintings that Ben Tipplesmith did, but he's my buddy, so that doesn't count. I prefer original published pages over commissions. My man Chris Balga wants an original art piece by George Perez. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. People that I would love to have original art from, Ken Lashley. Because Ken Lashley, the way he does his art is so unconventional. He like does like a rough sketch and then basically inks straight over the rough sketch. Like no do-overs, like nothing. And when I say a rough sketch, it's not like if you watch someone like a Jim Lee or like a David Finch, like they do like roughs and then they refine it and they refine it and they refine it and like their pencils look like a finished piece. Like Ken Lashley just draws like these gesture drawings and then just adds all the detail in the inking phase, but like basically goes straight to inks with a marker. That's insane to me. So I would love to like just have a piece by Ken Lashley just to like see how that comes together. But there are like a few original art pages. My man Noah knows I'm streaming right now. But anyway, so yeah, original art, anything milestone, that's probably like it for me. There are a few. Oh, that's cool. My man has a one of one icon by Sanford Green. That's really cool. I would love to see that. You got to post that somewhere. And then he also wants a complete run of Steel. I want the Dennis Cowan and Christopher Priest run on Steel. I've got like 1 through 20 of like the original Steel series, but I do want like that later run as well. But yeah, I would love a piece of milestone original art. What other original art would I like? If I could get a Sanford Green page from Bitter Root or maybe even a cover, like that would be amazing. There's a lot of stuff in my collection that I just like looking at. I would obviously love an original page of Batman from almost anyone, right? Like I guess like Jim Lee Batman is like a completely unattainable thing, right? But I'd love that. But if not a Jim Lee Batman, I would love like a page from like somebody that does like a style that's similar to like the Batman Adventures comics. So like is it Ty Templeton? Um People like that would be cool. Maybe even like an Ed McGuinness would be awesome. But yeah. Let's see. Absolute Art Grail will be any Cowan page from the question, but I've asked him and that ain't happening. As in he's not selling them or the price he wants for them is not happening. Tayshawn has seen that Sanford Green icon. It's so good. What's happening? I have a rule. Like anytime like my family texts me, I have to like look at it no matter what I'm doing. But they always text about things that are not quite as important during stream times. Yes, the later run of Steel is what I want, but it would hurt my feelings to not have the complete run. I know what you mean. There are so many books in my collection that I only have because I had the stuff that came before and the stuff that came after, and I just wanted to have it all. There's so many things in my collection like that. Bunk says, I don't have anything from Batman, but I do have a Gotham Central page and Daredevil, both by Michael Lark. Some of my favorite pages. That's dope. Just remembered I have 2 newspaper ad inserts for Superman versus Ali. Paid for 1 and there were actually 2 in the package. eBay steal for like 20. Oh, that's dope. That's super dope. Chris says, I have Ultimate Fallout 4 first print, not facsimile, that I've always toyed with getting graded and slabbed. Just so much money to do that. Yep. This is mine. I've only I don't have very much experience with grading comics, but I do see like a color breaking spine tip right here toward the bottom. But yeah, I don't know much about grading, and like my fear is I'm gonna send this off. And this is special to me, not really because it's the Miles' first appearance. It's special to me because I put it on layaway and paid for this over 6 months. I paid $300 for this raw, but this was like the first sort of expensive comic that I bought with money from YouTube or like from just working to get it, you know? So it's special to me in that way. And I would kind of hate to send this off and it comes back like a 7.0 or something. And then I look at it differently. So that's why I haven't sent mine off. And also, I'm kind of afraid to put a comic book in the mail because that just seems like anything can happen. Yeah. Wheelchair wants to know, when did you change your name to Comics Are Dope? I did it for New Year's. I have been toying with the idea of a rebrand for a minute. But basically, New Year's is when I changed the name of the channel, and we've been rolling. We've been rolling ever since. I like the new name. It took a second to get used to. I still, if I'm being honest, I have not found a sign off that feels as natural as buy what you like, read what you buy, and be nice to others because kindness makes the world go round. Peace. I've not found that sign off since switching. Um, I've played around with, I think I say like stay classy and read something dope today. I don't love it, but it's okay for now. Taking suggestions on sign offs. Question Calendar pages are not happening because they don't exist anymore. But if there were any pages left, I'd own them pretty much regardless of price. I feel you. I feel you. Um, I feel that way. There was a hardware page floating around the internet, and it was it wasn't by Dennis Cowan. It was by Humberto Ramos, if I'm not mistaken. I toyed with buying that page because Static was on that page too, but I just didn't have the money. So yeah. Dennis Cowan's sister likes the new name too. Oh, that's dope. That's good. That's a reason enough to make it stay. Your fear is my exact fear too. Not looking to sell it because it means too much to me personally. Agreed. Agreed. I'm not gonna sell it. But yeah, I'm just afraid I'm gonna put it in the mail and damage it. Even though, which is hilarious, I have packaged and mailed so many comics that were either giveaways for people or I sold them on eBay or whatever. But like sending something to be graded just feels like all of a sudden it's gonna catch on fire. 1 in 100 has the Fallout 4, ran up on Bendis and got it signed at Comic Con 2018. Story's too dope to me to send it away. Bendis is a very nice guy. Word. I've heard very good things about Bendis. Let's see. Where am I at? Jules says YouTube paid for Ultimate Fallout 4. Didn't realize you blown up so much. Congrats, dude. No, again, I bought this book and paid for it over a period of 6 months. So what was that? $50 a month? 50 times 6? Yeah, that's 300. So it, you know, it's small potatoes in like the world of YouTube, but meant the world to me to be able to do it. So yeah. As far as grails, I don't know, man, because again, the milestone thing, I don't know that there's anything that's going to mean as much to me as that. At least I haven't run across it yet. Now, um I don't know. Like if I ran across a first appearance of Harley Quinn at a good price, I might buy that because Batman the Animated Series meant a lot to me, but I don't feel like I need it in my collection. What I would love though, like, sometimes like at cons they might sell like a signed script or something like that. Like if there was a copy of like a Batman the Animated Series script page and it was signed by Kevin Conroy. Like, I'd buy that, or like an animation cell. Like, I'd buy something like that. Um, Other than that, though, I think what I'm going to end up doing, because it's going to end up being cheaper than original comic art, is commissioning a piece from Dennis Cowan at some point. Like, I have to save up some money, obviously, but that'll be cool. But if I come across an original milestone page from really any of the books in the original run, like that's probably top of my list right now. What about you guys? Anybody got any more grails? Is Jane still watching? Rupert says, "What does a Cowan go for nowadays?" I don't know. I'm kind of been afraid to ask because I'm broke. If I'm being completely honest with you, like I never want to be that person that goes up to someone and be like, "Hey, how much for this thing?" And then they give you the price and they're like, "Oh, okay," and just walks away. Like I would hate if somebody did that to me. And people do that to me. Like, "Oh, how much is like a marketing consultation call?" And oh, my rate is this. Oh, okay, thanks. And like that's where the conversation stops. But yeah. So yeah, I haven't asked. Um, I just imagine they go for decent money. Um, Watching Bluey right before story time. I got you in an earbud. Okay, cool. I was just gonna tell Jane her dad was cool. Um, I've not watched Bluey. I've heard Bluey's good. I just never got into it. Rupert says, get someone else to ask for you. You know what's crazy? I know it's as simple as sending a direct message. Like I know it, but I don't want to do it. Like unless I have cash in hand and be like, all right, cool, let's do that. So yeah, that's my grail. Um, I don't know. It's an unconventional grail, but I've been fortunate in that during the period where like the most reprints were happening, I was able to get most of the stuff that I wanted in omnibus format. I have it. I've got pretty much all the Batman there is to have in omnibus format. I don't need the single issues, like, because I just like reading the stories. Um, Most of Cowan's current pages are about 400 or so. Okay, that's not terrible. Like any price that's more than what you have feels like a bad price, but yeah. What if you got cash in hand but the price is higher? Like if I've got enough cash available, then I might try to haggle a little bit, or you know, well, how much for one rib, right? Like I might do that. But yeah, 400 is not bad. Um, but yeah. Um, yeah, I've got pretty much all the stuff I want to read. I have. And even if I don't have it physically, I've got like access to read it digitally. The pieces that I do really like, or like want in the collection, typically I want for some either historical significance or sentimental value. So that's why the first appearance of John Stewart's on my list. Um, I don't necessarily need a Fantastic 452, but I'd like it. Um, stuff like that. Stuff like that. Keep in mind, this is standard panel work, not talking spreads or splashes. That makes sense. Those things tend to go higher, but 400 is not bad. Um, So yeah. Again, it's just with original art, the reason I haven't gotten into it is just because, you know, that's like my comics budget for like 3 months, right? So it requires a different type of sacrifice. And, you know, for a Cowan page, like that's worth that type of sacrifice to me. But then I know that I'm also the type of person that like I can't just have one of a thing. So then all of a sudden I'm like trying to get, you know, 5 original art pages from 5 different series that are really cool and blah blah blah. Um and then we've got a problem because now I'm like trying to, live above my means, as they say. Don't get into OG art. It's a trap. I feel you. Do you care about the condition of the book? Can it be a low grade? It can be a low grade. Fun facts, my copy of Hardware issue 48, either 48 or 49. The cover is completely detached, but I don't care because it's mine. Eventually, I might try to upgrade it, but for me, it's just important that I have it. You think you're just going to grab a page or two and that's going to be your collection? It won't be. I know this about myself. Anything that I've ever bought and enjoyed, I never left it at just one. Like whether it was Pringles, chips, comic books, sneakers, none of them. None of the things. None of the things. I'm just that type of person. If I like something, I want to be surrounded by that thing. Like it's unfortunate. Um, you know, so that's that. That's how I end up in this room with, shelves full of books, but then also books stacked on the floor so I can't put my feet under the desk. you know? And so I know that if I'm gonna get into a game like that with something as expensive as original comic art, something as limited as original comic art, like there's a reason I don't buy Jordans at the store anymore. I don't like the behavior. I don't like how it brings vultures out. I don't like how difficult it is. But where every page is a one of one, like I don't need them type of problems in my life. At least not right now. Talk to me in a couple of years. Might have switched completely. Now you're founding the K Squad makes more sense. You liked us and wanted to be surrounded by us. Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I enjoy comics so much and like the conversation around comics so much that I started a whole YouTube channel and have been really intentional about building community around it because, you know, just being honest, if all I had to do to survive was this, my life would be made. Like that'd be the dream. But yeah. Yeah, that's just kind of how I am. When I was into music, I collected records and I'm still into music. I still buy records every now and then, but I had to move a ton of records and I'm gonna have to move a ton of records when I move again. Um, just like I gotta move a million comic books. This isn't gonna be fun at all. At all. But hey, I know what baggage comes with me. So anyway, I just wanted to have that really fun conversation about what our grails are. I mean, I don't know that, you know, I guess we can all look out for each other, look out and see if there's anything that, you know, that's one thing about the comics community. Like there's stuff that you might see Tayshawn in Charlotte that I won't see in Raleigh, or Bunk might see in Ohio, but I won't see in North Carolina. We can kind of collaborate that way. That's a big way or big part of how I got my milestone collection, like trading with Tim Sheeran, who had stuff on his side of the world where I didn't have on mine. So yeah, man, all really cool stuff. So comics community always looks out for each other. And I enjoyed having this talk about what our grails are. So next week, actually, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. I kind of always come up with it like Thursday morning. Tayshawn is not looking forward to moving the records when the time comes. Look, dog. Me either. Me either. Mine are in my garage, and I know that I'm gonna have to move them. If for nothing else, I gotta put them in storage before it gets hot in the summertime. And I'm not even looking forward to that. And that's not even a difficult move because they're still boxed up and all that. But I don't I don't want to do it. But yeah, between records and books and sneakers now, moving is not going to be fun. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. But if you want to join conversation with us, regardless of the day of the week or whether or not we're live, join us in the Comics Are Dope community. On Discord, we are the Dope Fiends. On Facebook, we are the K Squad. Links will be in the description of this video as soon as I'm done being live. And I'll talk to you guys on another episode of the Hangout next week, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, like we always do about this time. Thanks for being here. Thanks to the channel family for sticking around and making this possible. Thanks to Organic Price Books for sponsoring. And thanks to all of you for watching. And I will see you guys in another video real soon. Until then, read something dope. Peace.